You are watching Allastrology. And Sag, this is your video. We are going to go through your April 2023. We have a lot to talk about, actually. There's three things. It'll be more, of course, but there's three things we're really going to zone in on for you, okay? And then we'll put it all together. So we have to start off by talking about Mars. Yeah, Mars. Mars is making a move. Mars is leaving the sign of Cancer, and Mars is leaving the sign of Gemini, and which was opposing you this whole time for the last 6 months. Sagittarius is over here, Gemini is over here, and Mars was over here. So it was kind of like extreme things happening, possibly. Mars is sporadic bursts of energy. Mars can be like an instigator, a shit starter. But that's a negative point of Mars. Mars can be very optimistic and positive, but it can be very impatient. We call it the child of the zodiac. It's super assertive. It's about our drive and our passion. That's Mars energy. So this would have been in your 7th house. Yeah. But now Mars is moving. And Mars is going into Cancer energy. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, it's a big deal because Cancer is our emotions. It's our home. It's our family. It's our mom. It's the mother wound, right? Remember, Mars can inflame things. Mars can represent surgeries. Mars can be wounds and cuts and knives, surgery, inflammation in the body even. Absolutely. I can talk about that. I know more about that than I want to know. Mars is a lot of things. Okay. It's a lot of things. And moving into Cancer energy, when we think home and family and mom, feelings, my emotional needs, what I need to feel emotionally secure, sign of Cancer. Okay. So typically this is going to be in your 8th house. Now, I recognize that some of you don't even have a chart, and so you don't know what I'm talking about. You're watching this because you're a Sagittarius birthday, and that's fine. Hold on. We got a kitty cat. Are you coming up? And it's not dinner yet. Hold on. Are you coming to talk to me? She was here for the other readings. Does she want to come up? No, she just wanted to tap me on the leg. Okay, so Mars going into Cancer. This is for the entire month of April, all of April. It's going to be in there between like 7 and 18 degrees, just so you know. So in your own chart, if you have a chart, you're looking at 7 to 18 degrees to see if you have anything in Cancer at that energy. Now, if you don't have a chart and you want one, then all you got to do is comment to me and say, gee, I don't have a chart. What do I do? What do you need from me, right? I need your birth digits. I'll just let you know right here. I need your birth digits, and then I'll get a chart to you. Now, if you're brand new and you're like, I don't know nothing about any of that, I can look it up and see if any of the things for April will be an issue for you. I can help you, but I would urge you to ask for your chart, and it doesn't cost you anything. I'm not saying I urge you to ask for your chart so I can charge you. No, not at all. I want you to have the knowledge of your life in your hands because your chart is your life. Yes. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Now, Mars in Cancer. So we got to keep that in mind. And then we got to find out, where does this happen? For those of you who have your chart and know you're a Sag rising, Mars in Cancer is in your 8th house. So this is emotions. This is deep buried wounds. Okay. Deep buried wounds, typically. All right. 8th house. Now, if Mars is there, Mars can inflame our emotions. Okay. Mars can trigger our emotions. It's literally one of the key words for Mars, a trigger planet. So it can go there and it can bring up wounds that we thought we had already processed, like shit we thought we already handled and got through. It can bring that stuff up, right? It'll bring it to the surface because the 8th house is stuff that's been buried deep down. Mars comes through, it can bring it up. So this can be emotions that are brought up by masculine energies. So whether that's a male in your life or somebody else who exudes masculine energy, okay? Because it's Mars. Mars is a soldier, okay? Anybody can present strong masculine qualities, right? Now, as we go, we're going to go by dates now. So we're going to go to like a full moon energy that's on the 5th of April. Now, Mars is kind of like ruling this month, okay? And I'm going to explain why in a second here, literally. This full moon is in Libra energy, and Libra energy is ruled by Venus. Venus, yeah. So it's significant one-on-one relationships and business partnerships. It's people that you're willing to compromise for. They're very important to you, right? You think long term with these people. You're like, okay, I need this person in my life, so I'm willing to compromise, right? So it can be business partnerships, but can be marriage, can be anybody that you're close to, where you're like, I value these people, so I compromise for them. The phone rings, I pick up. They make a text, I respond. Like, these people are important to me. Mars being in Cancer energy down here at the bottom, right? Well, eighth house, so we'll say up there. Well, it sends square energy to your Libra energy. Cancer is cardinal, so is Libra. You see that? So it's squares. It's an angle. It's a 90-degree angle that it's squares, right? That's why we call it a square. It creates a square. It's 90 degrees, and so it's difficult. It means stress and tension to significant one-on-one relationships. This is for everybody. We're all going to be going through this for the entire month of April, okay? So knowing this in advance will help us to mentally prepare to. Here's some examples of Mars, how you can recognize your Martian energy and how somebody else is coming to you. It's assertive. It could even go higher and escalate into aggressions. That's Mars. It likes to fight, so it instigates. It gets bored easily. It needs to be physically challenged. So it needs to find healthy outlets for those physical challenges, right? So just keep all this in mind. If you got a squirrely partner, if you got somebody who's whatever, go send them outside to do some yard work. Go dig a damn hole. Go do something, right? Go out in the garage and do some whatever things you need to go do. And this isn't to say that I'm pointing a finger at men, because there's plenty of women who exude strong Martian energy. I've got Mars on my ascendant, so I understand. Boredom, being bored, feeling like you should be doing something. And when you can't figure out that, when you don't have words for it, you start shit. You instigate and you create stuff when there doesn't need to be created. That's why creativity is so important for Mars energy. Finding a physical creative outlet is like perfect for Mars energy. All right. And it's solo. It likes to do shit alone. All right. So it needs to go work out. It needs to go dig that damn hole. It needs to go to the gym. It needs to go do something. Right. And that's things where people will stay healthy, where people, even if it's not at the gym, but Mars likes physical challenges. So doing something, right? Go and paint the house, right? Go and make yourself a new shelf or some shit. So we're finding out, where is this happening for you? Sag, we're having your 11th house of friends. Okay. So your Mars energy in your 8th house is getting squared, or is squaring people that are friendships, people that you consider close, significant one-on-one relationships, people that you compromise for. This is group energy. This is your social circle. When you go to parties, when you go out, when you go online, because 11th house is online. It's digital. It's social groups that are digital, all online stuff, right? It also is astrology. Squares, stress, and tension to that energy. All right. So that's a full moon. It's at 16 degrees. If you have something near it, this could be a big deal for you. The degrees exactly will give an orb, 2 before, 2 after. So that's 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 degrees of Libra energy. Significant one-on-one relationships, Libran energy. Okay. So some could be completing, like there could be a group that you belonged to, and maybe it ended in April, right? Like there could have been some online class you were taking, something you were doing online, but it might have had to do with tech, and maybe you were, I don't know. It could be anything. There's like so many different things people do online now. They play games, like it would be that. It's a group thing. There's a completion and a closure. Okay. If you got something at the degrees, if you don't know and you want to know, comment below and I will help you to figure that out. Okay. Now we move on to the 19th, April 19th. There's a new beginning. And it's an eclipse. But wait, there's more. This eclipse is in Aries. Right. What planet rules Aries? Mars. the shit starter that was squaring your Libran energy with your friends, that was making stress and tension with friends and group energy. So now Mars, who is also squaring Libra and squaring Aries energy because it's in Cancer, Aries, and Libra are all cardinal, and they square each other. There's also another one, Capricorn, up here. This is the cardinal Great Cross. Cardinal signs square each other. Okay? So this eclipse talks about a new beginning, a new start. Aries is all about starting shit. It's not so great on finishing it, but it's all about starting it. The good news is that Mars is this is ruled by Mars. So we have to pay attention to where Mars is in our emotions, things about our family and home and Cancer, right? And for you, your Cancer energy in your 8th house of deep emotions, deep buried wounds, the new beginning, this eclipse, is in your 5th house. 5th house. You have Aries in the 5th. This eclipse happens at 2950 or something near there. Okay. So if you have planets, if you have a house cusp line that's like at 2730, 28 degrees, 29 degrees, 0 degrees of Taurus, 1 degrees of Taurus, possibly 2 degrees of Taurus, this will affect you. The eclipse will affect you. And for some of you, you've already felt the effect if you had it exact, because you feel it 6 months in advance usually. Seriously. If there's other planets there, you could even, you definitely feel it in advance. Now, your Aries energy in your 5th house is children, fun, romance, dating, relating, mating. It's Aries energy. So Aries likes to start stuff. If it's in your 5th house, you're going to want to engage in creativity. You're going to like activities with children, right? Aries is kind of like a child itself. So you kind of understand kids. You want to laugh. You want to do things that make you laugh. You want to have fun. You want to play games, bring the games over. Let's initiate. Let's do this. It's strong, fun energy and laughter. It's Aries. So when you laugh, people hear you for real. You know how when a little kid laughs, they've got that laugh that just is so carefree, right? It could be so loud, right? It just doesn't care who hears, right? It's innocent. There's a sense of innocence with it. But just remember, Mars is in Cancer energy. And so this all squares in a difficult way. It squares, right? But Aries is optimistic. And so this is a new moon in Aries energy. Yes, Mars is the ruler, but it can be very optimistic. And it can be an adult if it wants to be. It can be first. It can be fast. So we have to be cautious with our Mars energy, with our Aries energy, and Mars in the home. We have to be cautious because if we get hurt, remember, cuts and wounds, might need a surgery. There's a knife involved, possibly. If we get hurt, it's usually because we're moving too fast when we're dealing with our Mars energy. Remember, it's a tool. Do not let Mars energy control you. Treat it as a tool until it matures enough to be a leader. Once it gets mature and it can lead, right? Because anybody can be first. Let's be real. Like anybody can work out and practice and be first. Right. Great. Oh, you're awesome. But not everybody can be first and lead. Like, if that's all you want is to be the leader of the pack, then fine. But if you want to lead people, right? Meaning, is there anybody behind me? Are they choosing to follow me? That's a whole different Arian energy altogether. That's a mature Aries. And I say it and talk about it like that because it's at a high degree. This Aries has the capability to operate on that high level, all right, to be the leader. Now, this is in your 5th house, right? So what are you starting? Are you planning on having children? Are you thinking of having children? If you want children, this might be a great new beginning. You possibly have a spouse or a partner that you're talking to where there's some stress and some tension, like these discussions in the home. And it's like, oh my God, are we really considering having kids? Or maybe we're having problems with the kids in the house, right? Maybe there's just, and it doesn't have to be problems like it's a big, horrible thing. It could simply be challenges, right? Challenges that we find stressful because it was so easy before. It was so easy for all of us, for everyone alive. Mars in Gemini, for all the negative parts of it, it was sending sweet, trying energy to our relationships, to our significant one-on-one relationships. And now that's going to be gone. That's going to be gone. So as long as we're just aware of what we learned while Mars was trining, what we learned was who we value, what we value, what's important going forward. And that is key in this new beginning with this new moon. It is a North Node solar eclipse. There is an entire video series that's been out for months about this eclipse because it's such a big deal. Okay. And it's a big deal because it involves Taurus energy, because the North Node is in Taurus. So where you're headed, who's going with you? Who is part of that future with you? That's part of this eclipse. It's about my future, the future of my body, the freedoms of my future, my independence, my how much independence do I need? Do I want a partner? If so, who is going to be that partner that I could see in my future with me? This is all that. It's my love. Do I value myself enough? Am I first making sure that I am worthy by telling myself I'm worthy, by understanding how it is that I'm worthy? This is all key in this new beginning. This is moving forward saying, I know what I want because this is what I need for me. Like this is what my Aryan energy needs, right? But then including those that will be within that with you. And doing it in a mature way. This is that fifth house. So if someone's choosing to be a parent, that's big girl energy, big girl, big boy energy. It's like, okay, we're saying we can not only have a baby, but we can parent the baby. There's, anybody can have a baby, right? Yeah. So maybe if you're somebody who's decided maybe to not have children, that's a mature decision. Like that's saying, hey, I don't think I can take on that responsibility. Either I mentally or emotionally can't handle it. Both, maybe financially I can't handle it. Maybe all three of the above. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just understanding who you are, where you're at, and where you're going. Okay. And so this is a big new beginning. Check those degrees in your chart. If you don't know and you want to know, comment to me. I will help you. I will help you, Sag, in any way that I can. The other thing that I like about this eclipse before I sign off here is the Aries eclipse is fire and it trines you. It trines Sagittarius energy. So this is super beneficial. Fifth house to your first house, your physical body, your ascendant. This is beautiful. This is a nice ease. So it's not all doom and gloom. It's just a new set of challenges. It's just a new set of challenges. So it just comes down to just knowing before you go, knowing what those energies are that are present, and then having the heads up and how to tell my Mars to have a little bit more patience, tell my Mars to not be so easily irritated and agitated, right? Because it has zero patience, easily irritated, easily agitated, wants to be first, right? So we all have this, okay? But for you, you're very fortunate. The fire signs are very fortunate. This eclipse sends trine energy to Leo, trine energy to Sag. So with that, happy 2023, happy April 2023, Sag. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Below the video, I'll have all the degrees for those of you who like to pay attention to the degrees in your chart. Again, if you don't know and you want to know, just comment below.